Naruto may have some awesome characters with well-crafted backstories, but some members of the ensemble deserved more. Masashi Kishimoto's sensation Naruto is known and loved for many things. Naruto and many of the main characters in the show and manga have extremely fleshed-out backstories that explain their motivations and give them a wealth of depth. Their past experiences shape who they are in the present and make us understand where their goals and choices come from. But with so many characters in the Naruto slate, not every character gets the same luxury, and there are some who unfortunately don't have the backstory that we would love to see. While some of these characters are teased throughout, we never get a deep dive into their history and what makes them tick. In this video, we'll be taking a run through the 10 characters in Naruto who should have had their own backstories, including members of famous clans, some of the most powerful shinobi in the Naruto world, and some of the show's primary antagonists. Get ready to Naruto run through some of the Naruto characters that we should have seen more of. First off the bat is one of the final antagonists of the show, Princess Kaguya Otsutsuki. Kaguya is the former matriarch of the Otsutsuki clan, and the mother of Hagomoro and Hamura. We do know a little bit about Kaguya and the fact that during the Endless War she consumed the fruit of the God Tree and became the first known wielder of chakra on Earth. Kaguya would then go on to merge with the tree to become Ten Tails. We know that she came to Earth to harvest the fruit for her clan and eventually grew attached to the planet, but we don't really know anything else in regards to her backstory, as to who sent her, and how did she actually arrive on Earth. It would have been interesting to have seen Kaguya's life off of Earth and how she came to be, but perhaps fitting in all this content involving a bigger universe might have been a bit too much. However, this means that overall the Otsutsuki clan is somewhat of a mystery, and a deeper look into Kaguya and the rest of her clan would have been greatly appreciated. One of the characters with the least amount of backstory is actually one of the most powerful, Hirozen Sarutobi. Hirozen was actually the third Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village and was a disciple of the village's previous two Hokages. Hirozen was a tremendously powerful ninja and at one point hailed as the god of shinobi, and his ninja skills were much more adept than a number of characters. Hirozen was so influential, in fact, that generations of Konoha shinobi benefited from his wisdom and took on many of his teachings. But for a character this powerful and with someone who was actually directly learned from two different Hokages, you'd surely expect to delve deeper into their backstory. But fans were left disappointed when they didn't get to see a glimpse of his early days as a pupil, let alone the days during his prime, and instead left a lot to our imagination. With Hirozen's power and skill, we surely deserve to at least have got a slight flashback. Another character renowned across the shinobi world was the famous and powerful ninja Sakuma Hatake, also known as Konoha's White Fang. Like Hirozen, Sakuma was known for his power and talents and was seen as one of the strongest people in his village. Some even claimed that he was more powerful than the Sannin and held more notoriety. So it's safe to say that he was a pretty powerful shinobi then. His son Kakashi was a proven genius, and Sakuma witnessed him pass the entrance exam to the academy. As Kakashi was at the academy, Sakuma went on a mission, but after his teammates' lives were endangered, Sakuma chose to abandon the important mission to save them. Sakuma felt a great deal of dishonor about his failure, and the only scene we see of him is him committing suicide for his failure before talking to Kakashi in the afterlife. With such a wealth of power, you'd think this character deserves a deeper look at his backstory. Out of all the entries on this list, Kushina Uzumaki probably got the most amount of backstory, but it was arguably still not enough. Because we like backstory. We do. And as greatest showman's Jenny Lind would say, it's never enough. Kushina was a Konohagakure Konoichi, who originated from Uzu Shiogakure's Uzumaki clan and was the daughter of Nine Tails. She's also the mother of Naruto and the wife of Minato. Kushina at one point also declared she wanted to be the first female Hokage and spent her early life as a shinobi before growing into Jinchuriki. But unfortunately, the backstory we see in the series isn't focused on the character nearly enough. Instead, the focus is on how she met Minato, and how the two would go on to live their lives together as opposed to what their lives were like prior to meeting. Such a headstrong, stubborn, and eccentric character deserved to have her deep backstory shown, instead of only being associated with another, and it is a shame that fans only got to see a snippet of the character's history. Going back to the villain of the series, another character who was arguably unjustly given too little screen time was the Shinobi of Darkness, Danzo Shimura. Danzo, a member of the Shimura clan, and elder of the Konohagakure village. He was the founder and leader of Root, and spent decades performing suspicious deeds and taking fate into his own hands. deciding what he thought was good for the village of Konohagakure. He is known, therefore, as being one of the most evil villains in the show, and like Sherlock's Moriarty, was the mastermind of a number of evil deeds that happened throughout the show. In fact, think of a horrendous tragedy and Danzo was most likely behind it. But the issue is, we never really understood why he was as evil as he was, or why he acted the way he did. We know that he wanted the arguable best for his village as well as his own set of beliefs, but we never got a fleshed out backstory in the show that suggested why he went down his path, and why he's the evil genius that he is. The character of Didara is the one character that fans probably know the least about. Didara is an S-rank missing nin from Iwagakure, who during his time in the village was a member of the Explosion Corps. But after he defected from the village, he was forced into the Akatsuki group, where he would be the youngest member until his eventual death. In one short flashback, we do see Didara fighting Itachi Uchiha and eventually losing, which is the factor that causes him to join the Akatsuki. But that's basically it. His life prior to Iwagakure was never really shared, and we never saw any deep look into his relationships with those around him, leaving him arguably as one of the most shallow characters on the show, especially as it feels there was a lot more to tell about the character and a much deeper and rich backstory there that the show could have explored. Opportunity missed, I guess. Now we go over to a whole clan, the Uchiha clan. First off is Kagami Uchiha. Kagami is one of the only members of the Uchiha clan who actually didn't get affected by the curse of hatred which runs through the clan, instantly making him stick out from the rest of his brood. Kagami, like so many on this list, was actually seen as an extremely powerful shinobi and was heralded by the likes of Danzo and Hirozen Sarutobi, which is high praise coming from them. But remarkably, we see surprisingly little of Kagami throughout the series. He was very quickly hyped up to being this powerful shinobi, which fans assumed he would have a heavy impact on the plot, or at least a number of appearances, but he's scarcely seen throughout. Fans would have undoubtedly liked to have seen what a kind-hearted Uchiha looks like with a deep backstory, but sadly they didn't get the chance. Next member of the Uchiha clan we're going to discuss is Fugaku Uchiha. Fugaku was a known shinobi of Konohagakure and was the known leader of the Uchiha clan, as well as being the leader of the Konoha military force. Again, I feel like I've said this too many times now, but Fugaku was known as one of the most powerful shinobi of all time, and was known for his epic skills. In fact, he was also the rival to Minato Namakaze to be the 4th Hokage. What we know of Fugaku is actually pretty darn epic, with Fugaku being an active member throughout the Third Great Ninja War, and even ultimately tried to stage a coup against the actual leader of Konoha. Seeing more of Fugaku and learning more about his backstory was something fans were desperate to see, but sadly never got to, although it would have been great to have learned more about Fugaku and his motives. The last member of the Uchiha clan we are going to mention is Shisui Uchiha. Shisui's power arguably eclipsed even that of Fugaku and Kagami, and he was seen as one of the most powerful Uchihas in Naruto lore, and that is saying something. Known as Shisui of the Body Flicker, Shisui was seen as a prodigious young fighter, and was a powerful character to say the least. Shisui had a big impact on the lives of Itachi and Sasuke, and although we got to see him as a part of Itachi's story, we sadly never got to see his own one. But there feels like there was a lot that the series could have explored. For instance, like Kagami, why was he not affected by the hatred curse? What actually was his role during the Third Great Ninja War? And how exactly did he awaken Manga Sharingan? So many questions, yet so little answers. I gots to know, Naruto. I gots to know. Last on the list is a character we have mentioned a few times in passing already, and that is the character of Minato Namakaze. Known as the Yellow Flash, Minato is Naruto's father, and was the 4th Hokage of Konohagakure. Sadly, Minato died protecting his son during the attack of the Nine-Tailed Demon Fox's attack, sacrificing his life to ensure that a part of the Nine-Tails went into Naruto. As shinobis go, Minato was seen as one of the very best, and according to Jiraiya, he was one of the likes that would only show up in Generation. Given his power, how he was the 4th Hokage, his importance to the plot, and the fact that he is Naruto's father, you would expect the series to explore his backstory. Instead, very little is known about Minato and Clan Namakaze's backstory, with fans left wondering how he met Kushina and his events during the Third Great Ninja War. Given his heritage and the fact that Minato has such importance in the story and his son Naruto, fans would have loved to have seen some more from the Yellow Flash, and some flashbacks to his early life. What did you make of this list? Who was your favorite Naruto character? Which one would you have wanted to have seen more of? Any we missed? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more Naruto-related content.